Hello everybody and welcome to another third-party Transformers video brought to you by the guys over at Robot Kingdom. Today I'm taking a look at Old Soldier's OS-02 Detective. That is TFC's interpretation of Hound. Now, we already have a Make Toys equivalent of a Masterpiece Hound in the form of Gundog. We have an offering coming from the guys over at Fans Toys. So is there space on the market for another Hound? Let's take a look. The box is very much the same as what we got with Ironhide and Ratchet. Just a simple box with this mesh-like grid on it, silhouettes on the side. On the back we have Detective or Hound in his robot form and his vehicle form. We have an age certificate of 16 plus. On the side here we just have Hound again as a silhouette. So without further ado, let's crack him open. Here he is out of the box and I like him. He's kind of sporting a G1 semi-alternator Binal-Tech vibe about him. He's more blocky than what I'm used to with the Masterpiece inspired figures, but Hound was quite blocky in the G1 animation. He comes with a very shiny chrome weapon and a fully working missile launcher. Now, straight off the bat, they've fixed the hands. I wasn't a fan of the hands that came with their Ironhide and Ratchet because they were odd. You had one fixed hand and one articulated hand, and they've given us both of the articulated hands. Personally, I would have both gone for the solid, just pinned through the fingers. I just prefer it as a hand. I like articulated fingers, but they do have a tendency to pop off, and the official Masterpiece offerings, they give us a solid fixed hand. You know, doesn't bother me at all. But they have given us these articulated hands. I have been playing around with this guy for a day and a bit now, and I've had no issues whatsoever. I just don't particularly like how the fingers curve. It's the same as it was with Ironhide and Ratchet. It's I just preferred them to be either straight or in a fixed locking position. Have the peg on the inside of both of these hands, and the gun does fit in there really nicely, nice and snug, just pegs in. The gun itself has a slot on either side of the handle, so it can peg into either hand. We also have a gas canister which is just pegged in on the leg. If I can just untab that, we can unfold the gas, just straighten that up and flick open this. And if we just pop this section up, flip open the handle, and we have another gun which we can just slot in his hand, close the fingers up, and there he has two guns. Now, as far as looks go, he's an extremely tidy figure. Everything tucks in, everything has a place. I especially like the backpack section there. Everything is tucked in very well. The wing mirror section on this guy is a lot more robust than what we got with the Ironhide and Ratchet, which I'm really glad about. I had nothing but nightmares about those wing mirrors. They were absolutely terrifying. I just think he packs together really well, and it's a good, solid effort. The sculpt on the face is a good resemblance to that of G1, but I wouldn't say it's the best resemblance. As I stated in my Ironhide and Ratchet videos, I'm actually going to start a Studio Ox inspired shelf. I'll have them, Carrie, and I think I'm going to stick this guy in there as well. He's got these really boxy shoulders, perfect for putting your Autobot logos on. But I think he just draws more inspiration from the Studio Ox comic book art than he does from the G1 animation. I do like the actual shoulder pads. I think they actually add character to him. And I like the fact that we actually have the ability to grab the chest, slide the shoulders up, and slide this shoulder up, and we can actually have those raised. He now has kind of an American football vibe about him. Seeing these guys together, I think it really, really works. I don't think TFC are trying to be Masterpiece. I think they're trying to do something a little bit different, and I like what they're doing. I think this really, really works. It's different from what others are offering on the market, and I think they've kind of found a niche. I know DX9 have given us Carry, and that's a phenomenal figure. I just think these guys look really good with him. Now, I know there are some hardcore, die-hard TFC fans out there, and they're going to get this guy no matter what. So here's how he'd look in your regular Masterpiece selection. He's not completely untoward. I think he's probably a head or so too tall, but it doesn't look ridiculous. I know people that add their classics, they add vinyl tech, they add all sorts of figures to their Masterpiece G1 lineup, and you know, I think this guy could work. Now, with the weapons removed, let's cover his articulation. The head has a really nice range left and right. We've got a good range looking up, so we can look up at the taller of the Autobots. Downwards, it's subtle, but it does move down. His natural poses are probably just a fraction higher. I've already mentioned that the shoulders do slide up and down. Now, bear in mind, these shoulders are extremely tight. There's a screw just on the inside here, and when you're pivoting this up and down, it probably could do with just loosening that just a notch. This area here, where the slider is, strikes me as a possible problem area. It's made of, I don't know, kind of a thinner plastic, more of a rubbery plastic. And where these shoulder sections here tab into the chest, I think vigorous force could pop those out of the chest and kind of half transform him. So when you are lifting the arms up, just hold on to this section and bring the arm up and bring it back down. But it could do with just being loosened just a tad. So we do have a full range there. The arm does rotate fully. This section does go up and down. We do have rotation at the bicep. We have a 90-degree bend at the elbow. I've already covered the fists, but we do also have a rotation on those hands. The waist does rotate. We do have very, very minimal clearance there, but the whole section does rotate nicely. We don't, unfortunately, get an ab rocker with Hound like we did with Ironhide and Ratchet. Side skirts do move up. We have great range of movement forwards, full range of movement backwards, full swivel on the upper thigh, and an almost 90-degree bend at the knee. The feet also are much better than what we got with Ironhide and Ratchet. It's on a ball joint. We get pivot left, pivot right. We get some forward motion and some back motion. The heel section itself is actually detachable. It's on a separate joint, so you can detach that. And it just gives us just a little bit extra, so you can bend the foot back, detach the heel, and you can then angle that so we can get a little bit more range on that foot. Now, Hounds Alt Mode is based on one of the old Willy Jeeps. To be honest with you, his appearance in the cartoon wasn't actually that close a resemblance. It was more just a Jeep. The actual Willy Jeep itself was what we got with the G1 toy. And to be honest with you, I transformed this guy a few times into his Jeep mode. I actually think his Jeep mode is one of the more realistic. It actually looks slightly more, in my opinion, like the Jeep than what the Make Toys version does. Just the way the wheel arches go up and they're kind of very forward at the front here and there's a bit of a gap. That's actually very, very close to what we got with the original Jeep. But hey, let's get this guy transformed up. First thing you want to do, you want to unplug these sections on the chest. Come around to the arms, flip up this tab, and this is slightly different to what we're used to. You just pop the fist upwards, make sure the thumb is fully down, pop the fist upwards, and then rest this on the fist. It doesn't go all the way into the hand. I'm not really sure why they've done it like that. I think it's just due to the sheer size of the hands. But hey, that's how they've done it. So tuck that thumb away so we don't break that off. Bend those fingers over, pop that up, and bring that down like so. It's actually at this point I like to transform the legs. So just raise these front sections up, bring the foot but separate it. So you split this back section, bring this forward section up. This section here is actually going to fold back down like so, and there's a tab just on here that's going to tab into the back. And this toe peg here is going to peg onto this slot here. So just push that, angle it, and tab that in. You then want to rotate these outer wheel sections. Flip this around, and as we actually bring that around, before you bring it fully, rotate this additional section on the end like so, and then carry on bringing this section around. Do the same with this side. Start to rotate, then rotate the end section, and then carry on rotating this section all the way around. If you've still got the gas canister transformed up, you can then tab this section at the back and plug your gas canister in. Come up to the upper body. The gun section here, the shoulder mount, is just tabbed on to this tab here. You then want to untab the windshield from the back, lift the windshield up and out of the way, open up this section here, open up this section here, and you want to just bring this out of the way for now. Now this entire torso section is going to actually lift up, and it's pegged in just on the underside here. So pull this section off, untabbing it, lift this all the way up out of the way, and then again untab this section again from those legs, giving you lots of open space. Just come to the underside of the Jeep, and just for now, just move this wheel outwards, and there's this green tab here. Just push from the underside. Don't fully extend it yet. We'll extend that in a little while. We can then rotate the wheel around. Do the same with this side. Pull this around. Just give that tab a little pop, just so it's clear of the wheel, but we'll use that shortly. Once that's out, we can rotate the wheel fully round. Come back to the arms. Just rotate this section around. Make sure it's straight, and then collapse that section up. So let's go to the arm, rotate this section around. So this pointy section is facing outwards. Make sure it's straight, and collapse the arm. Bring the arm down and around. And as you're tucking this in, there's a green section here that's going to swing out, and that allows this arm section to tuck in there fully like so. Make sure the head is untabbed from the bonnet, just a tab under there and a tab under there. You can now bring this entire back section down. It will clear these green side sections on both sides, and that will rotate backwards and rotate backwards, bringing this all the way down so the bonnet can just tab together. Come to the underside. The green tab section here will just plug into the underside of the arms, like so, securing them into place. And this section just sits down like so. We can then bring this section back. And as we're going to do that, we're going to lift up the skirts on the legs. Lift those up, and they're actually going to untab from each other, and they actually then untab from this section. The legs are like this. Make sure you bring the legs out to the side, and then straighten this section upwards. So it's like that. And then rotate this leg upwards. So on the underside here, you're going to have the leg in the center, and you're going to have these sections facing upwards like so. Tab the legs together and then compress them down like so. Come to the underside, make sure this flap is up and this flap is up. Finish compressing, and then push the tabs down, and they're going to tab into the green on the underside of the leg. Again, on this side, just tab that in. Make sure these two tab sections are out. Make sure the head is facing backwards, and then collapse the car in on itself. This section is actually going to tab on the underside of the door. They are going to tab in and connect. Do the same with this side. That's just going to slide in and tab in. You then want to rock these sections here, rock those forwards, and there's a tab groove along here. That's going to line up with where we just put those leg grooves. So open up these seats, bring them down, and then just slide them across. There is an art to lining these up, one of which I've not really mastered. It's just lining them up and pushing them down to lock them into place. I'll see if I can do this one as well. Bring that one down, line it up, and push that into place. You can now flip open these back seat sections as well. And then bring this gun section over. That's going to go up and around, and there's actually a tab here which is going to plug in on the side. So we want to lift that up, and that tabs in like so. Now come around to the windscreen, bring that section up, and just tab that in. The last few steps, this section at the back here where the wheels are, it's actually on a slider. You can bring that down, and that actually drops the wheels at the back down. Do the same with this side, bring that down, and that drops the wheels down. Fold these sections just in a tad so we can now straighten out this hinged section. And if you look, there's a tab on the underside that's going to line up, and that's just going to tab in fully like so, and then we can bring the wheel back up. And here he is, all transformed up into his Jeep mode. That's a good looking alt mode. You see what I mean about the open section here above the wheels? We can kind of see the engine block in there, which would be the forearms. I actually really like that. That's a very, very good resemblance. Would I like the canopy just to kind of top this off? He does roll quite nicely. The front wheels are a little bit rickety. They're a little bit wobbly on there, but there is nice detailing on the wheels. We also get a couple of extra accessories. We get the axe and a shovel, which is nice. As you can see, I've tabbed the gun into the slot which we used for the rocket launcher, just using this peg. It's just a circle hole, and we can just peg that in. And I've also got the gas canister kind of jerry can on the back there as well. And there we have him. He's looking all very, very smart, isn't he? Again, scale-wise, I think he's probably just a little bit too big for the Masterpiece line. Chip looks like a small child perched on the chair. But at the same time, he does look really nice alongside Ravage. Now, Masterpiece or not, I can't deny this is a nice figure. It's got a nice looking alt mode. Bot mode's really, really good. But does he fit in with my collection? Yes, I think he's going to look nice on the Studio Ox shelf. If you're buying this as a Masterpiece Hound, are you going to be disappointed? Possibly. I think there may be better Masterpiece Hounds on the market, aka the Make Toys or possibly the upcoming Fans Toys Hound. If you buy this as just a decent Hound for your Transformers collection, are you then going to be disappointed? No. He's a good figure, he's a good Hound with a good bot and alt mode. All in all, he's just good value for money. TFC have done a really, really good job, and I am liking their old Soldiers line. I'm very excited to see what they have coming next, and I like that they're doing something different. So there we have it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. If you found the video useful, give it a big thumbs up, like and subscribe. And make sure you check out my gallery over at benscollectibles.com just by hitting the information button up here. Until next time, from myself and the detective, goodbye.